Before I start this video, I would like to thank every viewer that is watching this right now. It takes a lot for me to open up, but I know that I'm not the only one that has gone through this, and I know that I'm not the last one that's gonna go through this as well. And I would also like to say that I'm not gonna mention the name of the fashion designer in this video. And the reason why is because they have been living, these fashion brands have been living on these sort of negative energy, and I'm not going to give him that publicity. Thank you very much for tuning in, and hopefully you guys are going to learn something from my experience. It all started 4 months ago. I was at my parents' house because my grandmother passed away due to cancer. With the little energy that still had left, although I was in depression because of my grandmother's passing, I decided to apply for jobs in New York. After a Skype interview with this fashion designer, I told my parents. My parents were extremely happy for me because they saw that I really needed to return back to New York. And I gathered myself, took my stuff, flew to New York, arrived in New York 4 days before April the 1st. That was the first day that I would start at the company. And I received a few documents that I had to fill in and send back. I asked the questions, what are your objectives? And I told them I want to help the team. I want to help my management to realize their objectives, and I also want to learn how to become an executive assistant. Now, I have to say that I don't come from the fashion industry. I have a college degree in international entrepreneurship that I obtained in China and in Belgium, and I am starting my acting program at the Film Academy here in New York in September. So I accepted this internship position at this fashion designer because I needed to do something new that would get my mind off my grandmother's passing. So they hired me based on my qualifications and my recommendation letters that were backing me up. After sending that I wanted to learn how to become an executive assistant, although it's not my dream job, I received backlash from them by mail, and they told me, we don't know if we're able to realize your goal, your wish. I just replied with, I'm super happy to just be part of the team. It doesn't really matter if you guys can, if I won't learn how to become an executive assistant, I'm fine with that. I started on April the 1st on a Monday, and I told myself, well, you know, we did have some sort of miscommunication. I felt a little bit weird about that. However, the moment that they're gonna see me, they're gonna be happy with me, and everything's gonna go fine. I arrived in the office. I saw my supervisor, and she presented me to another intern who was black as well, and she was from France. Her English wasn't that fluent as mine. She had difficulties with following up conversations, so she was extremely happy to have me in the office, and I do speak French as well. So we were communicating the whole time with each other. So she showed me the office. She did a whole tour with me. She also taught me the systems, and I thought it was kind of weird because my supervisors weren't reaching out to me. They didn't train me at all. They didn't even calculate me while I was there, and I just told myself, you know, maybe it's because it's the first day, or they might be very busy. Let's see how the rest of the week is gonna go. Thursday passed by, and then we arrived on Wednesday. Wednesday, my supervisor asked if I could sit on her table together with the executive assistant and the head of women's wear. And I said, sure, you know, we can share the same table. There were 4 desks, and I would take the 4th desk. And so I sat down, and I saw that the executive assistant was actually not happy with having me at the same table, and she wanted me to sit back on the table where other people sat, but not on their table. And the head of women's wear, I'm just gonna name her Jennifer. So Jennifer, she was arguing with them, like, you need to give me legit reasons why she can't sit there. I mean, there's a desk, nobody's using it. Why can't she sit there? And all this happened in front of me. So you have to understand, I was extremely uncomfortable, right? I decided to go to the kitchen, and while I was in the kitchen, I told myself every single time when I'm gonna go to the kitchen, there's somebody, I'll just present myself. Hi, my name is Noria, I am new here, I've seen you or I haven't seen you yet, nice to meet you. You know, I just wanted to get to know other people because the only person that I knew was the intern. So I started to talk with a few people in the kitchen, and it was nice, you know. Friday morning, my supervisor told me, I sent you a PowerPoint, can you please look into it? It's the mission and the vision of the company. Just read it all. I was like, sure. I did that 3 or 4 times. Like, it was extremely important for her that I read it. And I did it immediately. And not even an hour later, I received an email in my private email from, I think it was somebody from the HR, telling me if we can do a touch base at 1 p.m. And I remember that she was actually the first person to add me on LinkedIn, and I hadn't seen her yet. So I replied back on the email, oh yes, let's do that, awesome. I will skip lunch so that we can do the touch base. And in my mind, I was just thinking, she's gonna ask me how my first week was. She's gonna explain a little bit more about the company, because they haven't done any effort to explain anything to me. So I arrived at the showroom, and when I entered, the director of finance, who I actually spoke the day before in the kitchen, was sitting there, and this HR woman. And I remember walking in, and the director of finance, she wasn't looking at me. She was looking down. And so I sat down, and I was like, huh, why isn't she looking at me? So I looked at the HR woman, and she started off with, Noria, thank you so much that you're here. However, we have decided to go another direction. This is going to be your last day. Hold up. I came all the way from Europe to America. You need to give me a specific reason why I am fired. Like, I'm confused. And she told me there's no specific reason. We just decided to go to another direction. However, we made a check for you, $3,000. Hopefully this is going to be enough to cover you on my name. And yeah, do we need to ask somebody to go grab your stuff, or are you gonna grab it yourself? So you have to understand, at that point I was, what's going on? And I was asking them, but what is the reason? I've never been fired before. You knew my resume. I mean, I don't know, what were you expecting for me to do? Like, I was talking with people. You guys didn't really train me, nothing at all. I felt really uncomfortable. Like, you need to give me a specific reason why you are firing me. And I just told her, you know, I'm gonna grab my stuff all by myself. Don't worry about that. Thank you. I took the check. I didn't even look into the check. I didn't know what was on the check. And I told them, thank you very much. And I left. I entered the office. The other intern was sitting there, and I told her, let's go grab something to eat, breakfast, because we didn't have our lunch break yet. We arrived at the elevator, and I remember the intern telling me, oh, let's go eat some tacos. I'm like, yeah, sure. However, luckily, this is not going to be our last time eating together, but it will be our last time working together. So I got fired on the 5th day. And not even 6 days later. Oh, wow. God works in a mysterious way. I received a message from somebody from Beyonce's camp that has been working with her for a very long time. And he was like, we're hiring. I said, what? Wait, what? You know, when I reached out, I didn't even explain the whole story, right? I just said, hey, I'm looking for a job. when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. I knew that I will be working extremely hard there because this fashion designer has black clients, and there was no, we were only like three black people in the company of 300, 400 people, right? So, and I come all the way from Europe, so obviously I wanted to leave a really, really good impression there, right? And they shut me down before I could. So in your life, there will be people that are trying to shut you down. They see your worth, they see your value, they see that you might be an important asset in their environment, and they don't want that. So they're going to shut you down before it happens, right? And what you need to do, you need to stay humble, know your worth, and keep going. Maybe that door will close, but a lot of other doors will open right after that. So I am happy, you know, that things turn out the way. I've sacrificed so much in my life. I've gone through this so many times that I was able to walk away with a smile. But I wanted to know what the reason was, though. But, you know, I know deep in my heart what it is, and I'm happy. I really am. So thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something from this. Bye.